Hello, everybody, to the next round, to the next Amazon Advertising Weekly Update. I hope everyone is in a good mood and is healthy and is looking forward to the new and next Amazon Weekly Update as I am. Issue number 9. I'm very curious as always about the latest updates on about Amazon advertising, and I prepared another focus topic, looking forward to it. Please, first of all, let me be clear, if you have any questions regarding the topics that I will cover here, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message. And yeah, first of all, where are you from? Send me some comments. Where are you from? Where are you seeing this LinkedIn Live or Facebook Live? And yes, first of all, if you are not following me on LinkedIn, then first of all, follow me, like this video, comment if you have any questions, and then I think we can get right into it. Actually, Bijal, you shared where you are from, and I must actually say, I don't know where. What is this for a flag? I don't know of your country. So sorry, I don't know where you're from. LinkedIn is a great Saudi Arabia, India. India. Oh, sorry, of course it's India. Sorry. Yeah, it's awesome to see that so many people are watching this. I prepared some stuff today, as always, and let's check it. First of all, I need to make sure that you see my screen. That's the wrong one. This is the one that I would love to share with you. Okay, actually, that's the wrong one. So, okay, now we're good to go. I prepared 2 topics today, and as I mentioned, if you have a question, just drop it here. I check the comments parallel. Austria, awesome. India, what's this? Great. India, awesome. Dallas, wow. What do we have here? India again. Awesome. I love this so much, and now let's get right into it. So, I prepared 2 topics. Let's check them out. The first thing is a very amazing update that I checked out or that I've seen was pushed on LinkedIn. We got into it about the sponsored display remarketing in Germany, and of course, it's not only for Germany, but I recommend that you also check your accounts as well in your countries that you are doing sponsored display remarketing. I will get to this in a second. And furthermore, I will focus on the category benchmark report, which is just incredibly awesome. There is so much detail and so much knowledge and stuff in this report that I want to discuss with you and share my thoughts on this. So, but first of all, let's talk about the awesome update on sponsored display remarketing in Germany. Now also off Amazon. What does this mean? Well, first of all, on sponsored display, you have the chance to not only display your, the placement is not only limited to ads on Amazon, DE, UK, whatever, but also off Amazon. So, Amazon has a content network where, like IMDb, their own websites, but also their content networks and audience where they can connect, where you can show your ads as well. And actually in Germany, we were only able to get sponsored display remarketing, the cool, awesome feature and stuff where we can remarket and retarget our users that visited our products and all this stuff. This was limited to the placements and on Amazon only. So right now what happened this week is that Amazon opened this, and now you are also able to place your sponsored display campaigns and ads and remarketing also off Amazon. Sounds like a little thing, right? But it's incredible that you know of this, and very important that you know of this. So first of all, Maurice Palo shared this on Amazon, on LinkedIn, and it's in German because it's it's a German topic, but I recommend that you also check this for other countries. Why is this so important? As I said, from one day of another, your sponsored display remarketing campaigns will have more reach. You have more placements to go, not only on Amazon, also off Amazon. This means more reach you will have immediately without you doing anything and changing anything. You will have more reach, more impressions, more cost, more sales. Does this mean that it's all a good thing immediately and only? No. It can result in a higher ACOS. And I recommend that you check this out and give this some love and some detail and some focus. So, because what can happen? Look at this remarketing campaign here. This feature and this update has been released on 26th of January, so just 2 days ago. And what we've seen is a heavy and massive increase of impression and cost and clicks and traffic and overall. This is good, right? But I assume, and what we've seen so far is that this traffic off Amazon does not perform as good as the traffic on Amazon. We don't know, actually, because we cannot analyze this within the advertising console. But I think that is a valid hypothesis. So yes, check your sponsored display remarketing campaigns if you work and target people in Germany, but also check the other EU countries or the countries in Europe. And actually, because I haven't checked myself, so do so, check it if it has been there an update as well. You need to check for an increased number of impressions. You need to check your budgets. Are they sufficient? You don't want to run into budget limits. Check out your performance, right? Do you have more sales now available than before? That's good, but maybe the cost increased much stronger, right? So this is why you should also maybe check your bids, and maybe you want to decrease them. Yeah, this is very important. I can highly recommend you do this, check out this in your campaigns as well. So let me check here if you have any questions so far on this topic. I don't see so. If not, I can jump on this at the end of the podcast or the LinkedIn Live as well. So let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is actually my other focus topic. This is I want to talk about the category benchmark report. This is a new, relatively new report that is only available for sponsored brands reports. Well, I'm talking about this here, right? In your reports, you check out the reports for campaign type sponsored brands, and there you see it, the search term impression rank as a beta, and the one that I want to focus on right now is the category benchmark report. And first of all, it's still marked as beta. Beta means that the data doesn't have to be correct. It can change and the report can change. And we have already seen some changes that were made by Amazon on this report. But today I want to talk about the current state of the report and how you can understand it, how you can read it, and why I think this is such a great report. So first of all, why is this report so awesome? It is so awesome because for the first time ever, you can now compare your performance and your performance data with your competitors. There are tools out there that do this, but they don't have the data Amazon has. And for the first time, Amazon shares the data with you in your categories and how you compete with other brands. So actually, this is very unique data and very, very valuable data. And I will come to this in a second, why it is so awesome. But first of all, let me walk you through this report. And how does this report look like? If you have not access to this, this is should help you to give an understanding and get an understanding of what this report looks like and why it is so awesome. So first of all, you download this spreadsheet and open it up in Google Spreadsheet, Excel, or whatsoever. How does it look like? First of all, you have a column, many columns: start date, end date, your brand, and the category you have been advertised in, and your sponsored brands, campaigns, and ads were running in. So, and actually you see, it gets more and more detailed here. On top, you have the main category. This is a German one, Drogerie and Körperpflege, because this report was downloaded within a German marketplace. And you see that it gets more and more into detail, into all the little subcategories. Okay, that sounds awesome. But actually, what are the metrics that Amazon shows us and gives us? You have the impressions. You have the impressions for a specific time frame that you selected in the report. Impressions of your ads within a specific category. And you have the impressions of the peer groups of other brands. And why isn't it so awesome? You have different categories and levels here. First of all, you see, for example, here the peer impressions, the median. Median means that this is that 50% of all the brands that advertise in this category have in the middle, on average, and this time, if I look at this number here, around 500,000 impressions. So there are 50% that have less impressions, and there are 50% of advertisers that have more impressions. And if you look at the top 25% here of what does this mean when this says 847,000 impressions? This means that 25% of all the brands that advertise in this category have at least 847,000 impressions or more, right? So now we can see, okay, I have 860,000 impressions. That means I am at least in this top 25% group. So at least more than 75% of all the other brands within this category have less impressions generated than I have. So, and it shows you on where you can group yourself into. So this 860,000 is the top position, the top peer group, and so on. You can also have a look at this, for example, here. I hope you can see it. Oh, sorry. Take my pointer here. You have this subcategory here. We see nearly 5,000 impressions, and this is by far a very, very little number of impressions compared to other brands in this subcategory. So you see, because I'm at the very low bottom of the peer groups, because a lot of advertisers have more impressions than I have generated in this category. But it's nice. And we get into more detail. You not only get the data for impressions, but also the click-through rate. And this is interesting, right? So you can compare yourself, your ads, with the click-through rate of your ads with your competitors. And of course, you want to have the best click-through rates, right? You want to have the best click-through rates compared to your competitors. And let's also check out the ACoS. You also see how well you perform, how good you perform compared to your competitors. Do I have a high ACoS compared to my competitors within this category, or is it a low ACoS? And so on and so on. And you see this per category. This is very, very, very neat. And just for, you also get this numbers for the ROAS, but I skipped this because I'm working with the ACoS here. So, and now let's try to understand this report. Why is it so interesting? So let's go back to the impressions. Well, as I mentioned before, in this case, my brand has 860,000 impressions, and I am belonging to the top peer group here. So this means compared to my competitors, I have a very high impression share. And it means that maybe I don't have so many impressions left, right? That I could generate, because actually there are not so many impressions left for me. But if I have a very low impression share and I'm at the bottom here, I know, okay, there are a lot of impressions left, and maybe with a higher bid, I get more impressions. But if I'm already here in the top peer group, it gets very difficult with a higher bid to get more impressions. Let's check out the other one here. Click-through rate. We want to get the best click-through rate out there. We want to have the best targeting in place, and we want to have the best ad copy. And if you have a good click-through rate here compared to your competitors, this means that you have actually a good targeting in place and that you have a good ad copy. The other way around, if you have a low click-through rate, well, there are two things that may be messed up. Your targeting can be poor. You're targeting the wrong people that are not interested in there's no match between the search term and your ad, right? So you want to get to work on that. And yeah, the lower your CTR is compared to others, actually you see the need and the urgency to update this and to update your targeting or your ad copy. Maybe the products that you sell are just not fitting the category, right? This can be the case. So actually the ad copy is great, but just the targeting is wrong. You're targeting the wrong people in the wrong category. And of course, the ACoS. We don't want to have the highest ACoS, but we want to have the lowest ACoS, right? But in this case here, well, we have a very high ACoS. We have 67% ACoS compared to the other peer groups and to other advertisers. Well, we have a very high ACoS. So maybe you can think of decreasing your bids, because if you have the highest ACoS and you already have the highest number of impressions, this could indicate that you maybe spent too much money for the last impressions that you get. Maybe think of reducing your bids. But I will outline this in a few examples that I prepared as well. This is just, to start the discussion here. And yeah. So in the end, we have actually 3 metrics that we want to compare and to compare and benchmark ourselves with our competitors. So we have, on the one hand, the impressions. We have whether we have very low impressions or very high impressions compared to our competitors, low CTR, high CTR, a high ACoS or a low ACoS. And actually, you can create some very, very valuable action points where you can work on and should work on in your sponsored brands campaigns if you combine all this with each other. So I have prepared some examples. So first of all, think of the example that we just walked through. You have the highest impressions, or you are in the category with the highest impressions possible. You have a very good CTR, but your ACOS is very, very high. So, and very outstanding high. We've seen this. Well, what I would recommend, without looking at any further data, I would ask the brand owner, well, maybe you should think about lowering your bids, because you, on the one hand, you get the maximum, nearly the maximum amount of impressions, but also you have by far the highest ACOS. Maybe you can keep your high impression, the highest impression share compared to your competitors, or one of the highest impression shares, but lower your ACOS, your bids a little bit, without losing the high impressions, right? So maybe you can then are able to walk in this group here, but also keep this constant. This would be awesome, right? So in the end, we want to have this here all green. Actually, this is very difficult to achieve. But if you have high impressions, high CTR, you can maybe think of lowering your bids. But this is just a thought that I have. There are other combinations possible. So let's think of, you have this here. You have the highest impressions, but a very low CTR and a very high ACOS. Well, first of all, maybe you want to lower your bids, but also, I mentioned it before, update your targeting or rework your ad copy. Because actually, maybe your targeting is not right. There's no product category fit. You target the wrong products, you target the wrong keywords, you target the wrong categories with your product, or your ad copy is just poorly made and doesn't fit the search term, right? So then you want to work on that. Another combination that is possible, of course, is this. So you have a very decent CTR compared to your competitors, and you have a very low ACOS. Well, I would suggest you increase your bids because you have very low impressions. But if this is not possible, right? Because, well, I spent too much money to, I cannot afford, it's my break-even ACOS. Well, then you maybe have to rethink of the production cost and all the cost that led you to calculate your break-even cost, so ACOS. So actually, you don't have a PPC problem, but you have a product problem. Maybe it's just too expensive. So I want to just start a discussion here, and where you can imagine that with a combination of all these different benchmarks that are out there now, you can get an understanding of where you are compared to with your competitors, and where you can maybe optimize your product, your targeting, your bids, or your ad copy. So there's so much in there, and it gives you a first direction where you start working on. So actually, there were some questions. I will start with the one from Benjamin. Okay, I show it. Benjamin, you have a question. Have you compared products that are using both Google retargeting and Amazon retargeting? It was regarding the first update, and actually, no. That was only on Amazon retargeting. So I'm only talking about Amazon here and not Google specific. Julian, you have some questions regarding what exactly? Is it possible to see if you have the top spot or placed at the end of the page? I think this aspect impacts the impressions and CTR. Yeah, and this is a very, very good question. And actually, this data is not available. And yeah, we have to be very careful with this, because as you point out very, very well, Julian, depending on where your ads are put in the search results page, for example, or in the product detail page, where your sponsored display, sponsored brands ads are placed at, it has massive influence on the CTR, of course. And so this is why I think it's still beta, because this is just a fundamental additional information that we need to finalize the picture of whether what are our next action points. And actually, I just assumed everything is equal, distributed, and then you can derive these action points that I created here or discussed and showed you. But yeah, so this further, I can then suggest that you additionally check out the placement report to get an understanding where most of your ads are being placed at. But actually, is it available for sponsored brands? Actually, yes, it is. Okay, good. Yeah, it is. Julian, you have another question. Oh no, it's the same one. Okay, good. Do you have any other question? Then just drop it here. I think it's an amazing report, and as I mentioned before, it's still beta, and also the search term impression share report is also still beta and is not perfect, and there are actually a lot of questions out there, and that need to be answered until we get a full picture of the value of this report and the data. And yeah, if there are no questions left, then I can just say thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, leave a like, whatever. Follow me on LinkedIn if you don't do so. And of course, if you need help regarding your Amazon PPC ads and you want to automate them, optimize them, we from Adference offer a great technology that automates and scales and optimizes your Amazon ads. Check out adference.com if you need any further information on this. Thanks so much for watching. I wish you all the best. Stay healthy and see you again next week. It was awesome. Bye, guys.